Hi, and welcome to the 5 Minute Data Conversations with myself, Craig Stewart, your 5 minute, really quick dose of data insights. And joining with me is someone I've been working with for a long time. I really appreciate all the support, Nollie Maoto from FNB. Nollie, how are you doing? So great to see you.
Hi, Greg. Craig, thank you very much for this honor to be part of your Digital Talks for 5 minutes. And yeah, I'm actually looking forward for this quick chat, and I'm hoping at least I'll leave somebody with some wise words that they can utilize in their own teams.
Yeah, no doubt. Knowing all the things that you say, Nollie, I'm sure people are going to get a lot of value out of this. All right. So for the people that haven't seen this before, literally is, as the name says, it's 5 minutes. Nollie and I are going to be talking about data storytelling, which I know is a really important topic for everyone. So Nollie, why don't you share with us your thoughts on data storytelling?
Okay, thank you, Craig. I think for me, one of the reasons I wanted us to speak about it today is I've actually realized, I think with my teams and other people's teams, we always concentrate either on the data science components, which is more the modeling and then the insights or just the visualization, but not actually the actual story. And that came about with the result of there being a low utilization with a lot of the dashboards that we actually create. So I started inquiring from stakeholders, and it's like, yes, we create all these lovely dashboards which tell them what is happening, but they want to know the why in order for them to actually create actionable insights or actionable decisions from the actual dashboarding or visualizations that we actually create. So I realized that data storytelling is actually a skill.
Yeah.
So most people in the team who are either the data scientists or my BI analysts will concentrate on just the data narrative, what the data actually is telling them, but not why and what value that our stakeholders can actually derive from that. So that was actually for me the reasoning behind that, because I thought I'm not the only one who's gone through this. There's other people who've got this gap, especially from a skill perspective in their teams. And from my side, we then decided to actually take the team on a data storytelling training course in order to actually upskill them and actually start adding more value in the outputs and all the data assets and products that we actually create.
Yeah. And what was part of that training course? Because I know a lot of people bring in people like graphic designers and marketing and communications people. What sort of things did they tell you within that course that you've already put into practice in your business?
All right. So we're actually going on, well, they are actually going on the course in January. So we're not on the course yet, but based on what the brochure actually states, this course is actually given by a company that specializes in AI and machine learning. So they've created a platform that actually then takes your data and actually creates stories for you. So they're actually going to teach us how to do that ourselves, because their platform does it automatically. But ideally, you want to actually remove the manual intervention in your data storytelling, because most of the time, my guys have too much work and they don't have time to actually create those data storytelling components. But it's just for them to learn how to create that narrative, which I think for me is missing. We've got the data part, we've got the visualization, but we're missing that narrative.
Okay. And how much work do you do with the business teams to actually co-create the models and the insights so that the story is kind of crafted, with the business context already baked in?
So a lot. So we've actually partnered with our strategic operations team. So they are basically, I'm going to call them the middleman between us and the actual stakeholders, because most of the guys in that team used to be in operations, so they know the world very well. So as part of us gathering the requirements and actually creating the mock-ups is to actually ensure that we do that in conjunction with them. So they're involved literally in the entire step from UAT testing and everything. So when we actually create the mockups, which I think for me is very important, they actually will then give us the context behind what we're actually creating. And then at the end, once we've actually now created that output or that visualization, they actually assist us also with the insights. Because what I realized with the data teams, we normally don't have the operational insights to actually understand why a trend is the way it actually is. All you're seeing is the numbers fluctuating, but you don't know the why. Yeah. So we actually make sure that at least once a week we meet with that team for them to help us with creating the insights for all of our dashboards.
And what's your dream scenario once you've been on the training course and your team is up and running and they, great data storytellers? What's the dream scenario for you in the business thereafter from an insights and action point of view?
So for me, the dream scenario would be ensuring that everything that we create as a team actually is adding value from a decision perspective. So our bank CEO actually said previously that no decisions should be made internally if they're not backed up by data. But now, as much as decisions are backed up by data, I think the storytelling component will actually then give us that ROI, literally the return on information component. So I think that's what I'm expecting is literally you actually go in, you either the dashboard, either online or on your app, on your desktop, and we narrate it to you that it actually makes impact to you as a stakeholder when you're looking at that dashboard, that the story is actually clear and vivid. And from that, you can really make actionable decisions.
All right, perfect. And Nollie, we've come to the end of our 5 minutes. It always seems to fly by so quickly. I think it's quite intense versus the longer format. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Craig. I appreciate the honor.